Greetings, traveler, and welcome to Third Eye Frequency, where intuition meets insight, archetypes meet reality, and sometimes your feelings are conducting covert operations without your knowledge. I'm your host, the Neon Priestess, and tonight's Miniquest appears to concern a very specific mission. A mission involving hidden feelings.
Shall we?
I thought you'd never ask.
When gathering intelligence, operatives often rely on binoculars, hidden cameras, and electronic listening devices. But sometimes all it takes is a well-dressed date and a decent sense of rhythm.
Unspoken truths.
Shall we tango?
Let's.
Can I lead?
Fine. Just this once.
Emotional camouflage.
Under his jacket could be a gun.
Spin me. Oh, excuse me. Smartphone.
And at least one person attempting to behave as though absolutely nothing is happening.
Doesn't mean he's not our guy.
Which would be an excellent strategy, if emotions weren't completely fucking terrible at espionage. Because here's the thing, when someone develops inconvenient feelings, maintaining operational security becomes critical. Unfortunately, emotions have a tendency to behave like raccoons in a ventilation system. Left unchecked, they eventually make themselves everyone's problem. So, tonight we will be investigating a classified intelligence operation. According to the intelligence reports, someone involved in this story has been attempting to suppress what they feel. And honestly, the operation appears to be going very poorly. Because the universe has supplied several key pieces of evidence. Evidence such as excessive eye contact, suspiciously specific playlists, accidental emotional disclosures, and what intelligence professionals refer to as thinking about them literally all the fucking time. Fortunately, CyberWylie has agreed to assist with the investigation. Can you display your credentials, Agent? Excellent. As always, our standards remain alarmingly flexible. Now, traveler, before we begin identifying suspects, examining evidence, and deploying increasingly ineffective emotional countermeasures, we must first determine whether this operation is active in your sector. An operation called Burn Notice Issued when emotional stealth mode has failed. Is this you? Let's proceed to the vibe check to confirm. Welcome to the Vibe Check Lounge Frequency Collective. Before we begin today's investigation, let's review the intelligence briefing. Tonight's archetype is the Unseen. And honestly, I can't imagine a more appropriate archetype for this operation, because when most people hear the Unseen, they immediately imagine secrets. Hidden truths, unknown information, things happening behind the scenes, the text message that wasn't sent, the conversation that never happened, the feelings that never made it past quality control. Sure, sometimes the unseen can represent something hidden from us, but more often, it represents something we already know and simply haven't fully acknowledged yet. 'Cause, let's be honest, most emotional secrets aren't actually very good secrets. There's usually a very distinctive pattern that emerges. Someone develops feelings, then suddenly they're listening to the same song 17 times, thinking about the same person every morning like clockwork, rehearsing imaginary conversations in the shower, accidentally smiling at text messages, and conducting enough internal dialogue to qualify as a one-person theater production. And the feelings are technically hidden, but they're hidden in the same way a giraffe is hidden behind a lamp. And I think that's what feels so interesting about this energy, because it doesn't feel absent. It feels present, extremely present. Potentially so fucking present that maintaining operational security has become a liability. Which brings us back to the unseen, because this archetype often appears when something is attempting to move from the unconscious to the conscious. And that's where things usually get a little weird, because hidden feelings are often surprisingly comfortable. Hidden feelings can remain in a state of perfection, protected, safe from rejections, disappointments, or our 3D reality truths. But once something becomes visible, now we have a different situation entirely. Now we must decide what to do with it. And that message feels incredibly aligned with tonight's spread, because what I'm seeing here doesn't feel like a lack of emotion. It feels like emotion approaching a visibility threshold, like a submarine rising toward the surface, or like a classified file being declassified. Like a spy operation that's one equipment failure away from becoming everybody's fucking business. The unseen asks a deceptively simple question. What if the thing you're trying not to look at is the thing that's trying hardest to be seen? And Traveler, I have this strange feeling that question may become increasingly important as today's investigation continues, because, according to CyberWylie's preliminary report, someone's emotional stealth mode appears to be failing. The only remaining question is, whose? Let's crack open the case file. When a spy needs to remain unseen, concealment is only half the job. The real challenge is preventing people from noticing what you're trying to hide. Of course, that strategy becomes significantly more difficult when your cover operation is powered by the sun. Welcome, Frequency Friend. For this section, I have drawn the sun, clarified by Queen of Swords, with Eight of Wands bridging the connection. And Traveler, I need you to understand something right off the bat. This may be the single worst card combination in the entire tarot deck for anyone trying to attempt a covert emotional operation. Because, according to CyberWylie's intelligence briefing, someone here appears to be trying very, very hard to hide how they feel. Unfortunately, they appear to have been issued the Sun card. And the Sun card is often considered the happiest card in the whole fucking deck. It represents joy, truth, authenticity, warmth, clarity. But one thing the Sun is not is subtle. The Sun doesn't whisper or sneak. The Sun doesn't lurk mysteriously in the shadows waiting for the perfect moment. The Sun literally rises into the sky and announces itself to the entire fucking planet. So, right away we have a problem, because if someone is attempting emotional stealth, their primary energy source appears to be a celestial object visible from 93 million miles away. Operational security outlook? Not looking so great. Now, the clarification makes this even more interesting, because paired with the Sun we have Queen of Swords, and Queen of Swords absolutely believes she can maintain control of the situation. She is intelligent, observant, self-aware, strategic. This is someone capable of analyzing their feelings, properly categorizing them, and creating a quickly filterable spreadsheet, potentially color-coded by intensity. But actually expressing her feelings? Now we've encountered a procedural complication, because Queen of Swords often prefers certainty before vulnerability. She wants to understand what's happening before she commits to it, which sounds perfectly reasonable, until we remember she's standing directly beside the Sun. And the sun is essentially happy squealing. It doesn't matter if you don't understand it yet. It's so fucking happening. So the energy starts feeling less like emotional suppression and more like emotional damage control. Like someone standing in front of a volcano with a clipboard saying, according to my calculations, this situation remains fully contained.
I'm in Iceland. This fantastic fountain of fire rising 200 feet or so into the air behind me is molten rock. Fine ash is falling all around. There are gusts of choking poisonous gas, and it's so hot that this is just about as close as I can get to it.
Sir, respectfully, the lava is visible from fucking space. Now, bridging these cards, we have Eight of Wands, and this is where the operation becomes genuinely hilarious, because Eight of Wands is movement, information traveling from point A to point B. In spy terms, the package is already in transit, and somebody keeps attempting to intercept it because the energy here doesn't feel blocked, it feels delayed. It feels like someone repeatedly tackling their own feelings before they reach the finish line. Every time the truth attempts to leave the building, nope. Every time vulnerability approaches the door, absolutely not. Every time a text message gets drafted, we need more intelligence. The sun suggests the feelings are becoming impossible to ignore. The Eight of Wands suggests the truth wants to move, and Queen of Swords appears to be standing in the middle of the hallway holding a clipboard while shouting, "Everyone calm the fuck down." Meanwhile, absolutely nobody is calming the fuck down. Least of all her. Which brings us to our first intelligence report. In order to maintain emotional stealth, operatives often deploy advanced concealment technology. You may commence with the demonstration, Agent. Oh shit, forgot about that sun card. Agent, how is the cloaking device holding up? Okay, stay calm and retreat to the safe point. Do you copy, Agent? When an operation goes bad, inexperienced agents focus on eliminating evidence. Experienced agents focus on understanding why the evidence exists in the first place. Unfortunately, emotional operatives tend to skip directly to the part where they try to erase the hard drive. Greetings, Traveler. For this section I have drawn 10 of Cups, clarified by 9 of Wands, with 6 of Cups reversed, bridging the connection. And now this combination feels less like a romance reading and more like a classified trauma file. Because 10 of Cups is easily one of the most beautiful cards in the entire tarot deck. It represents a connection that brings a feeling of belonging, emotional fulfillment, and shared happiness. The feeling of finally arriving somewhere your heart has been trying to reach for a very long time. Which makes the clarification incredibly interesting, because immediately afterward we encounter the 9 of Wands. And the 9 of Wands looks like someone who's survived an almost non-stop barrage of sieges and brutal battles, but failed to notice the war ended a long fucking time ago. But this card always reminds me of a soldier standing guard outside a castle that's already safe, sword drawn, armor on, watching the horizon, waiting for an attack that may never come. And if I'm being honest, I think a lot of us know exactly what this feels like, because pain teaches lessons, and some of those lessons are vital. Some of those lessons keep us alive, and some of those lessons quietly overstay their fucking welcome. The heart learns, don't trust too quickly, which is totally reasonable. Then eventually, don't trust at all, which is less reasonable. The heart learns, protect yourself. Again, reasonable. Then eventually, never put yourself in a position where you might get hurt again. And now we've got a problem.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
Because Nine of Wands only knows protection. It can block against the pain, yes, but also sometimes it blocks us from happiness too. And I think that's exactly why the Six of Cups reversed is bridging these cards. Because this card feels like old emotional programming, old stories, old disappointments, old versions of ourselves still trying to run the operation. And that's what makes this combination feel so important, because the cards aren't showing a lack of emotional fulfillment. They're showing someone standing one step away from it, while still carrying survival strategies designed for a completely different chapter of their life. The Ten of Cups says, you can have this. The Nine of Wands says, yes, but let's discuss every possible way it could go wrong first. And the Six of Cups reversed quietly asks, are those fears coming from today, or are they shadows of the past? Because sometimes the most difficult thing about healing isn't letting go of pain. It's realizing the pain has already let go of you. And Traveler, according to CyberWylie's latest intelligence report, our suspect appears to be relying heavily on outdated defensive technology. Once emotional visibility has been compromised, operatives often attempt memory disruption procedures. Agent, please proceed. Agent, what's happening here? We need to regroup. Proceed to the safe point, Agent, and wait my word. A good cover identity should explain your behavior without attracting additional attention. If your cover story requires increasingly elaborate explanations, there's a good chance the cover story is the problem. Greetings, Traveler. For this section I have drawn Seven of Swords, clarified by Three of Cups, with Ten of Swords bridging the connection. And honestly, this may be the most unintentionally dumbass card combination in the entire operation. Because when most people see Seven of Swords, they immediately think deception, sneaking, strategy, concealment, someone trying to get away with something. And sure, sometimes that's exactly what this card means. But in the context of tonight's reading, I think something much stupider is happening. Because if the previous sections taught us anything, it's that the feelings are already there. I mean, the fucking sun exposed them. The Memory Scrambler failed spectacularly. The operation is actively collapsing, and yet, someone appears determined against all fucking odds to maintain the cover story. Which raises an important question. If the feelings are real, what exactly is being hidden? And I think the answer is surprisingly simple. The feelings aren't being hidden from other people. The feelings are being hidden from the person experiencing them. And the story here appears to be, no, these are completely normal friendship thoughts. Which would be a much stronger argument if the Three of Cups wasn't sitting directly fucking beside it. Because Three of Cups is friendship, community, connection, enjoying someone's company, wanting them around, wanting to share experiences together. And, truthfully, most romantic relationships should contain those things. The problem here is that someone appears to be using friendship as a witness protection program.
Nice house. It's one of the nicest we've ever moved anyone like you into. Hey, Linda, what do you think? I always promised you a nice house somewhere in America.
Let's not get carried away, okay, Vinny?
It's going to be a lot easier if you two start calling each other Terry and Todd.
It's a nice house, Terry, okay?
No, you're Terry and he's Todd.
Like, these are friendship butterflies. Sir, those are regular fucking butterflies. These are friendship daydreams. Interesting. And pray tell, how many friendship daydreams are we having per hour in a typical day? Just estimate. These are friendship playlists. Wonderful. And why does the playlist contain 17 songs about yearning for someone's touch? Because here it is. The Three of Cups is not fake. The friendship is probably real. The affection is probably real. The enjoyment is probably real. What's becoming difficult to believe is that friendship is the whole story. Now, bridging these cards, we have 10 of Swords, and I think this is where the reading reveals the true motive behind the operation. Because 10 of Swords is an ending. A painful ending. A chapter that hurt. A moment that literally fucking changed us. And suddenly everything starts making more sense because maybe the camouflage isn't happening because someone enjoys hiding. Maybe the cover story exists because it feels safer than hope. Maybe friendship feels manageable, predictable, and controllable, while vulnerability feels like standing in front of a firing squad holding your own fucking heart. And honestly, I think a lot of us understand that instinct. The problem is that emotional camouflage has the same flaw as every other gadget we've examined tonight. It only works if reality cooperates. And reality is appearing increasingly unwilling to cooperate here. Because eventually the smiles get bigger, the conversations get deeper, the investment grows stronger, the attachment becomes harder to explain in platonic terms. And suddenly, maintaining the cover story requires a shit ton more effort than just simply telling the truth. And that's what the Seven of Swords feels like here. The exhaustion of trying to carry a narrative that no longer matches reality. And Traveler, according to CyberWylie's latest intelligence assessment, our suspect has attempted one final concealment strategy. To avoid emotional detection, some operatives attempt social camouflage. Proceed, Agent. That's gonna blow the whole cover. Agent, please verify the findings. Again. Proceed to the safe point, and you can forget about the extra pepperoni bonus. Most covert operations fail because of bad planning. The rest fail because events continue moving forward regardless of the plan. The universe appears to specialize in the second category. Greetings, Frequency Traveler, and congratulations, because, according to CyberWylie's investigation, the situation has become significantly more complicated. For this final section of the main spread, I have drawn Wheel of Fortune, clarified by the star, with 10 of Pentacles bridging the connection. And this is the combination where it feels like the universe has finally entered the fucking chat. Because up until now, the reading has largely focused on human behavior. You know, the hiding, the overthinking, the emotional camouflage, the increasingly desperate attempts to maintain operational security. But Wheel of Fortune doesn't really care about any of that shit, because Wheel of Fortune is larger than personal strategy, larger than personal fear, larger than whatever stupid excuse we prepared in advance. The wheel represents movement, moments when life begins moving whether we're ready or not. And if I'm being honest here, the energy here feels remarkably unconcerned with anyone's comfort level. It's the card that says, "Oh, sugar, that's a sweet cover story. Unfortunately, events have already been set in motion." And that feels really important because the entire operation up to this point has been built upon one major assumption: that the feelings were the problem. That if we could simply conceal them, manage them, or delay them long enough, the situation would stabilize. But Wheel of Fortune appears to be saying, "Oh no. The feelings aren't the disruption, sweet cheeks. The feelings are the fucking direction." And Traveler, that is a very different intelligence report, because now we arrive at the star, and the star is one of the most beautiful cards in the entire deck. It represents hope, healing, authenticity, guidance. And honestly, the star feels remarkably similar to the sun from earlier, except calmer, softer, maybe a little bit more patient. Like the universe is saying, "Hey, I'm not asking you to force this. I'm asking you to stop fighting it. Now, bridging these cards, we have 10 of Pentacles. And this is where things become impossible to ignore, because 10 of Pentacles is not a fleeting crush. It's not fantasy, it's not infatuation, it's not emotional chaos. 10 of Pentacles asks, can this become part of your actual life? Not, do feelings exist? Clearly they fucking do. Not, can they be hidden? Clearly they cannot. The real question appears to be, what happens when the dream sequence starts asking to become reality? And I think that's the moment that every emotional stealth operation eventually fears. Because fantasy is safe. Fantasy asks nothing from us. Fantasy requires no action, no participation, no vulnerability, no risk whatsoever. Meanwhile, reality asks all of those fucking things. Which means we have arrived at a troubling conclusion. The operation was never failing because the agents were incompetent. The operation was failing because it was attempting to suppress something that was already trying to happen. And Traveler, according to CyberWylie's latest findings, there appears to have been a catastrophic breach in the investigation. Agent, we need to uncover the identity of the suspect. It's the only way to solve the case at this point. Please proceed with the final analysis. No fucking way. After every mission, intelligence agencies conduct a post-operation review. The goal isn't assigning blame. The goal is figuring out what actually happened. Which is unfortunate, because sometimes what actually happened is that your coping mechanisms were running the mission. Greetings, Traveler, and welcome to the bonus round, or, as CyberWylie has officially labeled it, the post-mission review. Because, after 3 compromised intelligence operations, 1 emotional visibility disaster, and the complete collapse of operational security, we arrive at today's final cards: Judgment, the Empress, and our advice card, 8 of Pentacles. And here is where it starts to feel less like a tarot reading and more like an intervention staged by the universe. Because Judgment isn't a card of punishment. It's a card of awakening, recognition, realization, the moment something clicks into place, the moment we can no longer pretend we don't know what we fucking know. This is the card that appears when denial has finally exhausted itself, when the evidence becomes overwhelming, when the case file lands on the desk and the suspect opens the folder to discover their own photograph staring back. And I think that's exactly what happened here. The operation began as an investigation. Someone was hiding feelings, someone was suppressing emotions, someone was deploying increasingly ridiculous countermeasures. But somewhere along the way, the investigation turned on itself, and the spotlight changed direction. Suddenly, the question wasn't, who is hiding? The question became, what part of me is still trying to hide? And that's a different fucking mission. Now, paired with Judgment, we have the Empress. And I, for one, am really glad to see her, because after an entire episode of tactical retreats, emergency protocols, defensive positioning, and emotional security measures, the Empress walks into the room and immediately changes the atmosphere. Because the Empress doesn't force, she doesn't chase, she doesn't manipulate, she doesn't launch covert operations. The Empress grows, she nurtures, she creates, she allows life to unfold naturally. And I think that's the hidden lesson beneath this entire reading. Because feelings are not mechanical, they're organic. You can't spreadsheet your way into vulnerability. You can't intelligence brief your way into intimacy. You can't deploy enough gadgets to avoid participating in your own fucking life. Trust me, CyberWylie has tested every available option. The results were disappointing. The Empress asks, what if the thing you're trying to protect against is actually the thing you're supposed to be nurturing? And that feels super important, because hidden beneath all the absurdity, this reading never looked like a lack of love, a lack of connection, or a lack of possibility. It looked like someone standing at the edge of a new chapter, trying to determine whether it was safe to begin. And, according to Judgment, that chapter has already started. Which brings us to today's advice card, 8 of Pentacles, and not gonna lie, I cracked the fuck up when I saw this, because after all the cosmic mystery, all the emotional espionage, all the prophecy symbolism, all the dream sequence energy, the universe's official recommendation appears to be, you better work.
And girl, you better work.
No, really, get to fucking work. Because 8 of Pentacles is effort, practice, consistency, showing up repeatedly, learning a new skill one imperfect attempt at a time. It's the card that reminds us transformation is not an event, it's a practice. The emotionally healthy version of ourselves is built. One conversation, one boundary, one risk, one journal entry, one honest moment, one uncomfortable truth at a time. The hard work comes after. The work is learning how to remain present once the feelings arrive. The work is learning how to stay instead of retreating. The work is learning how to communicate instead of assuming. The work is learning how to participate instead of spectating. And according to 8 of Pentacles, that work is absolutely worth doing. Because unlike the emotional cloaking device, or the Memory Scrambler, unlike the social camouflage matrix, actual fucking growth has an exceptionally high success rate. It just happens to require participation, which is honestly deeply fucking rude of the universe, but apparently them's the rules. Once covert operations have completely failed, a different strategy becomes necessary. Agent, commence with the final demo. That's it? And now, Frequency Traveler, before we officially conclude today's mission review, grab your D20. Tonight's viewer roll will determine how does your emotional stealth mode operation fail. Roll for initiative. If you rolled between a 1 and 4, you got the professional denial route. Status: everything is fine. You insist there are absolutely no feelings involved here. None. Zip. Not a single fucking emotion detected. Unfortunately, this declaration occurs immediately after a 20-minute conversation about the person in question. CyberWylie's assessment? Remarkably unconvincing. If you rolled between 5 and 8, you get the accidental intel leak. Warning: classified information disclosed. You successfully conceal your feelings for approximately 6 months. Then, one random Tuesday, you accidentally reveal exactly how you feel in a way that absolutely cannot be taken back. Perhaps through a text message, perhaps through a look, perhaps through an oddly specific playlist. The operation ends abruptly.
Wie viele Gläser? 5. Für mich nicht.
Ich mag Scotch, Scotch mag mich nicht.
Ich auch nicht, ich bleib beim Shampoos.
3 Gläser.
And if you rolled between a 9 and a 12, you get the social camouflage incident. Cover identity: just friends. You continue insisting this is a friendship. Unfortunately, your face and body language appear to be completely unaware of this strategy. everyone present notices, including strangers, especially strangers. CyberWylie has stopped filing reports and is now just simply watching you with sad puppy eyes. And if you rolled between a 13 and a 16, you get the prophecy event. Alert! Dream sequence breach. The thing you've been trying not to think about suddenly becomes impossible to ignore. A conversation happens, a truth emerges, a realization lands. The dream sequence officially requests promotion to reality. You're encouraged to remain calm at this time. You will likely not remain calm at this time. And lastly, if you rolled between a 17 and a 20, you get a full operational collapse. Emotional stealth failed. The mission is over. The truth is out. The feelings are acknowledged. The prophecy is active, and for the first time all episode, nobody is running. CyberWylie receives a commendation. The universe receives a commendation. You receive character development. Frequency Traveler. Every covert operation ends the same way. Eventually, the mission concludes, the reports are filed, and the agents go home. The difficult missions aren't the ones that fail. They're the ones that succeed and leave you with a completely different life than the one you started with. Congratulations on surviving today's covert operation. Because if this reading taught us anything, it's that emotional suppression may be the least effective intelligence strategy ever fucking devised. After a thorough investigation, multiple compromised gadgets, one catastrophic visibility breach, several failed concealment attempts, and what can only be described as an alarming quantity of emotional paperwork, CyberWylie has officially completed his report. And according to the findings, the operation did not fail because the feelings weren't real. The operation failed because the feelings were real. And by now, you may have noticed something important. Sometimes what we're trying hardest to avoid isn't danger, it's participation. And that's the hidden twist beneath tonight's reading. The dream sequence was never the prophecy. The prophecy was becoming willing to wake the fuck up. Which spiritually translates to, congratulations, your coping mechanisms have finally been informed that the mission is over. So, if this mini-quest resonated, like, subscribe, and leave a comment below telling the Frequency Collective what emotional gadget has your soul finally outgrown. This is the Neon Priestess, signing off the signal. And remember, traveler, the purpose of a lighthouse is not to hide its light. It's to help someone find their way home.